Hey everybody, welcome to Save Point. This is Yume Sora, and I'm also running with
SP Crash
and
Chef C Black.
And we are here to talk about something that I hold very dear to my heart. And we are going to talk about the Persona series as far as Persona 5, which comes out April 4th.
Which is this Tuesday.
Which is this Tuesday. So basically, we have a newcomer here to the Persona series, and that would be Chef C Black. Now, now, Chef C Black, give the audience a view into your mind of what you think Persona is.
This should be good.
So, from my understanding, it's a bunch of people sitting in a classroom, and it's a video game where you make life decisions. In this classroom, if people get together, they be couples, and yeah, sounds like a Japanese version of The Sims crossed with possible hentai, you know?
Where does man got his sources from? I don't know. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut in right there and say, before anybody else crucifies us, man, that's like the furthest thing from the truth there is. Since Yume seems very, very passionate about this game, I'm gonna go ahead and let him give Chef C Black a better understanding of this game.
So, okay, Chef C Black, man, that is a mouthful.
That is.
But just a little bit of light history on me, Yume, on the Persona series in general. I started off on Persona 3 because of my dear friend Crash, and basically what came about was I was asking him, hey Crash, I love Final Fantasy, but Final Fantasy doesn't have anything right now that's giving me a push. I need something else in the JRPG category that's going to entertain me until I find something else. And he told me plenty of times to play Persona 3, and I'm not gonna lie, every time I looked at it, I was like, bro, what the hell is this? What are you asking me to play? And one day, I just decided to go ahead. I had got me a Vita. I didn't have enough games on it. The only damn thing I had on it was Gravity Rush and freaking Uncharted. So I downloaded it on my Vita, and I delved right into it. And, you know, just like any other type of game, it kind of had a slow build-up. But what kept me interested was the cast of characters that I kept coming across. And eventually, you know, I got into dungeons and I got a better understanding of what the story was and how much it applied to life in general. So Chef C Black, what I'm going to explain to you what Persona is there are some points you kind of did hit the nail on. Yes, you are dealing with a bunch of high school kids. But the thing is that when you play a Persona game, you are always the protagonist who comes into the city or town or whatever. It's your first time here. You're moving in. And what happens is you basically meet a wide cast of characters and find out that there is some type of ordeal going on. And with said ordeal, you guys figure out what's going on, and you find ways to deal with it and push through in the story. Now, depending on which persona you're dealing with, depends on the objective. On top of that, you also have to regulate going to school.
So is a persona basically a personality, or
the persona is basically, depending on the game, is your identity that you show towards the world. It's like a facade. As a big explanation, as a guide, I would say Persona 4. Persona 4 was basically what humanity hid to the world as far as their true self. So you would hide the things that normally other people didn't know about, which you would probably consider being fake because no one knows who you truly are. But then it took being around people who you considered your friends to bring that about, and then you yourself overcoming what your true self is. So problems in your life that you just haven't dealt with yet. And once you do that, you get your persona. And you use said persona in this universe called the metaverse, is where you fight shadows or going towards Persona 5 demons in order to progress in that world and fix life's problems depending on what the objective is.
So, I want to cut in for a second because more or less the explanation you just gave him was closer to, of course, the Persona 4 understanding into Persona 5. However, the game has changed dramatically since the start, because in the start, they did start off with you fighting demons and stuff like that, and personas were completely different. Back then, they were manifestations given to you to combat the overall issue that was going on in the world, and they were given to you by a singular demon called Palmon. Yeah, Palmon. I don't know how to say it, but that was like the first two games. 3 is the one that broke from that meta of how you got the persona, and that's when it started from basically being able to face your personal fears and showing what your true power was 3. 4 was the only one where it was like, oh, okay, this is more so your inner you. And into 5, it's a little bit different.
It's like the opposite a little bit.
Yeah, it's a little bit of an opposite.
So are we basically saying that Persona 5 is... Persona in general is basically some type of... what's the closest... I'm trying to think of the closest game I can possibly think of Persona being, but it don't sound like nothing that is actually out.
If you wanted to weekly, if you wanted to weekly compare something, you could basically say a dating simulator x Pokemon.
Bruh.
You know, that's not even a bad way to explain that. because the part about the game when you're basically just being a high school kid is literally just going around, talking to people, strengthening your connection to other people in the world. Whether they are male or female, doesn't really matter. It's literally just strengthening your connection and bonds with people that you are encountering on a day-to-day basis. While when you are, of course, in the other world or the metaverse or Tartarus, whatever game you played, you are completely different. You are using powers that are of otherworldly nature to handle whatever the situation is. But your connections from the world powers you as a player.
So, as a person that's never touched a Persona game in a day-to-day life, why should I buy this game?
I can give you an extremely good reason why you should buy this game. First of all, the Persona games do not, well, since 2, they do not follow a timeline of when you have to play the old ones to understand the new ones. The second thing is they've actually gone back to a lot of the original game's roots with how they handle certain situations. And 3, they've actually made the games a little bit easier than how they were before. However, they give you a whole lot of things to make sure that you challenge yourself as you play the game. So, literally, this is like one of those games where you'd probably like what's going on. It'll give you an accurate representation, honestly, of all the Persona games that's come before it.
It's a Persona game for new and old players.
Okay, so I guess you're gonna go with the same route that Final Fantasy 15 took. It pretty much encompasses a Persona game for new and old players. The best part about this is, to me at least, is this game is actually going into more of the mainstay series idea of thinking, which is the regular Shin Megami Tensei saga. And I like it because a lot of people don't get a chance to play those. They end up playing just Persona. Mm-hmm. And while that's fine, I feel like a lot of people who've only played Persona games are missing out greatly. And this game actually encompasses a lot of great things from the other series into this one. So this is a good reason why this is a good game to start on.
So what other games are in this series? Because, I mean, you mentioned Shinigami Tensei. You mentioned all the Persona games. Are they all part of the same series, or...?
No, they just derive off of the same idea. But each branch-off series is a game series in itself. So, like, they have, of course, the Persona series, which is like a spin-off of the Shin Megami Tensei saga. Then they have the Digital Devil saga, which is completely different from both games. But the underlying thing of how, like, personas or demons or however you want to call it, for each series, they change the name because sometimes they're called shadows, too. That line is always the same. Like, you always see the same ones based off of, you know, some sort of continuum. But each game is completely different in itself.
Okay.
But it's more of a, you would understand one game if you played another one in the series. You would understand why each game plays and does the things that they do.
Okay, I guess like one of the things that I'm noticing is just the fact, even because I can tell that you guys are both hype about the game, but from a newcomer's perspective, it's just I think of it in the sense of what this game is going against. Okay, we got Tekken coming out, we got Injustice coming out, we have a bunch of other different games that are possibly coming out. Why should I spend $59.99 on, as a newcomer to Persona? Why should I spend? Is it worth me spending $59.99 on, even though I am new to this game, or should I just go to my friend's place, watch them play, and maybe borrow the game from them when they're done to see if I like it before I personally buy it? Because to me, it doesn't seem like if I see the gameplay and I'm like, oh, this look interesting, then I actually play it for myself. Then I'm like, okay, well, I kind of don't like this. That was a wasted $59.99 when we also got two major fighting games coming out back to back.
Okay, so the first thing I want to actually go into about that is you just named off two fighting games. That's a completely different thing. If you were to just say, okay, I want to play this game instead of buying it, honestly, I would go in the opposite direction with that, because with fighting games, that's something that you don't put a lot of time into as far as like getting through a story. The only way you put in a lot of time with a fighting game is if you actually sit down and try to get better at the actual game itself, which in itself is something completely different than actually playing a brand new game or a brand new series. Case in point, a lot of people just started playing Horizon. Horizon is an amazing
which I
game.
actually do personally have.
And you had it. Do you like Horizon?
Horizon's definitely a good game.
And you took a chance on that, right?
Yeah.
Because you had no idea. Everybody who bought it technically took a chance on it.
Yeah.
Why not take a chance on another game that you do have other people telling you the series is great? You do have people who've actually played the game before, aka me and Yume. You do see reviews out already. They have reviews everywhere. And this game has not gotten below a 9.
Well, I guess the problem the response to that as a newcomer, I would say, well, that isn't, Horizon's an action-adventure game. As an action-adventure game, I know what I'm getting. Based off of what you guys told me about Persona, this sounds like a totally new perspective.
It's an RPG.
It's a JRPG.
Okay.
But you've played JRPGs before, correct?
Yes.
So,
but it still seems like, okay, based off of what you all were saying, it's just like the amount of the intensity of the game, as far as with connections and trying to find out what everything is like, okay, well, do I need to go find like a quick Persona for Dummies YouTube video just so I can know what certain things are in the game?
No.
So I'm gonna ask you just a couple of things. So, are you a fan of Final Fantasy? Do you like Final Fantasy?
I mean, Final Fantasy is pretty cool. Like last time I played Final Fantasy, a personal Final Fantasy game when I actually bought one. It's been a while, but it's pretty decent. I can't say that I would hate Final Fantasy.
But you basically you do kind of like the idea of Final Fantasy, right?
Yeah. It's not that bad.
Final Fantasy being one JRPG that you said you were kind of interested in. Now, the older Final Fantasies liked they did turn-based combat, right? And if you played a Final Fantasy, then you pretty much dabbled in that a little bit. So when you're dungeon crawling in Persona, that is also turn-based combat. And it's just one of those things, like in many other games that did turn-based combat, you gotta have to strategize when you fight your bosses. You know, you have a cure here, you got an attack here.
Just like in Pokemon when you got a...
Just like in Pokemon. Mm-hmm. On top of that, you also get to catch the Personas. Just like in Pokemon. On top of that, you like Kingdom Hearts, right?
Kingdom Hearts is the best if they stop telling us with Part 3.
And what do you like most...
3? That's not happening. They've never said that there's ever going to be a Kingdom Hearts 3. If you've heard this, it's all been an April Fool's.
Let's not troll.
In Kingdom Hearts, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that you really love Kingdom Hearts based off of the lore, right?
Yes, Kingdom Hearts lore is awesome.
You love the lore, you love the story, right?
Yeah, Disney rocks all the way.
That is another reason why I would tell you to play Persona or Persona 5 legit. I played Persona, I've played 3, 4, and 5 because I love their stories. They have a very great and engaging story that just makes you not want to break away from it. And that's inside and outside of dungeons.
I think one of the best things, honestly, that even as a newcomer will help any newcomer is a Let's Play of Persona. Because as a newcomer, I think that would help us to understand like what we're really getting ourselves into.
And there are plenty of them out there.
Already.
Because just to stress that, the game did come out last year in Japan, September 30th. So, and we're just now getting it April. We're just now getting it Tuesday, April 4th. So there are plenty of people that have ran through the game, done all the extra stuff, 100%ed it. If there's any questions that you have that you want to ask about said game, it is there.
Oh, a lot of resources for that.
Okay, all right.
Any more questions?
Nah, that's about it.
So, I mean, basically, if somebody was to ask me, hey, should I get Persona 5? I'd say, fuck yeah. Jimmy crack corn and I don't give a fuck. But...
wow, slightly right.
But, I just wanted to go over a few things. So, Crash, you got the chance to play a little bit of P5.
Yeah.
How did you feel playing it? And what do you expect to see or learn as you play it on April?
No spoilers.
No spoilers.
Okay, no spoilers. For sure.
No major spoilers.
Okay, well, the first thing that I will say that instantly pulled me in was, of course, the way combat flows. Unlike a lot of the older Final Fantasy games, the Persona games are deep within actually strategizing each move that you do. Like, you can actually take down a lot of enemies based off of smart decisions and exploiting weaknesses, rather than like in Final Fantasy where it's like, well, you hit it harder, so you won. Persona is like, oh yeah, you punched it, but it has an ability that stops physical attacks. Now you're going to die because you just decide to meathead through it. So it's definitely a game where you actually have to strategize and think how you're going to beat an enemy.
To piggyback off strategy in the battle systems,
okay,
they have a thing that you can do called a baton pass, which
are we talking like the Pokemon version of baton pass? Because if we're talking about the Pokemon version of baton pass, I actually hate when people troll that move. It's so annoying.
In a way.
I don't know why I felt like that was a slight stab at me.
No shade. Okay.
In a way, but when you say strategy, that move adds so much depth to the battle system. It's crazy because at that point you can get into a battle, and depending on what you know about the enemy you fighting, you can end that battle without that enemy even making a move if you're smart enough. Yep. And I love that. That was like the best addition that they have made to that battle system.
They literally make it into a WWE tag team match where you beat somebody up in the corner, you tag the other person in, and they continue to beat the person up, and then they tag another person in. That's literally what they've turned this into.
Sounds like the Unicorn Stampede to me.
That's exactly what that sounds like. So, that being said, they've definitely enhanced the combat further than any other Persona game I've seen so far. And the best part about that I love that they re-added or put in this series is the ability to get the upper hand on the demons that you fight. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you can actually just attack them and kill them, or sometimes you can convince them to run away. Mm-hmm. You can convince them to legit give you money, mm-hmm. or give you an item, or actually tell them to join your cause where you take their power and you use it however you need to use it. Distributing it through your team or enhancing one of the personas that you have based off of their powers or their abilities.
And I'm so stoked they brought that back.
And that's actually really good. So that was one of the things that stuck out the most from playing Persona 5 with me so far. Of course, some of the things I saw that they've added to the Velvet Room were definitely something that I'm glad that they've done, which is something that they kind of added in Persona 4 Golden, but they've actually made it a little bit more dynamic.
They made it where that, not even just dynamic, but they made it where that you control it. And that's one of the things I like about it. Like, you have more power to do things at your own discretion. You have the ability to make something the way that you want to make it, which is great. Like, it's no more RNG. You know, it doesn't have to be random. You don't really have... Well, there is one thing.
I was about to say, but wait.
There is one thing that is still up to RNG, but that's something that is just like, you don't have to, but if you really want the boss persona that you want, you kind of do have to do it, which is really
basically randomized
I'm going to just be real with you. RNG sucks.
It's not heavy RNG. It's like bonus points RNG. Mm-hmm. So your base stats are always the same, but then you get extra stats.
Because RNG and Xenoverse period 1 and 2 sucks.
Well, see, that's because their RNG system is bad. Well, in 1, in 2, it's not as bad. In 1, it's freaking.
They still working on it.
Terrible.
But continue, though, Crash.
Oh, okay. I mean, outside of that, I already know the story's going to be great. I'm always pretty sure that the story is going to be great in the Persona series. I've played 2, 3, and 4, and none of the stories actually disappointed me so far.
You played 2?
Yeah, I played it on PSP. On Vita, but PSP. So I actually had a chance to go and play that one as well, and that story is actually really good. But yeah, I'm more than positive 5 story is going to be great. From what I've seen, I like the way some of the characters, or what they call them in this game, confidants will be really, really interesting. So as far as it goes, I feel like the outside of fighting portion of the game is going to be great. I feel like the battle portion of the game is definitely great already from what I've played, and I actually can't wait to see some of the challenges. Like in the previous series, some of the challenges that you'll run into that you don't have to do is like fighting Elizabeth or Margaret, which were like battles where if you honestly look at it and you weren't prepared, there's absolutely no chance of you winning those matches. You can go into the matches prepared and still get face stomped. Mm-hmm. I love that part of the series, and with the way they've actually added the battle system, I cannot wait to see how they do it now.
Okay. So as much as I fanboyed over Persona since it was announced it was coming out on PS3 in 2015, I have looked up every nook and cranny of that game and delved into so much where people would say I spoiled myself. And it's just like, I feel as if you can't really spoil yourself with this game. I've went through so much and learned so much that when I just played the game like this past week, and I've made it to the second dungeon boss, basically beat the second dungeon.
Okay.
I was still shocked. And I say, you know it, Crash. I've delved so much into this damn game that I thought wasn't anything really going to surprise me, and it did. The story, shocked. I thought I knew what was going on. Hell no. I had no clue what was going on. There was 2 characters that I wasn't interested at all, and after going through those 2 dungeons, I'm like, well, shit. One of them is actually I like better than Yosuke.
Oh, wow.
Better than Brosuke.
Okay.
The battle system, they've added pretty much everything that I wanted in 4. Okay. They've added things in this battle system that I didn't even know that I would even like if I had it in 4. As far as the day-to-day life, I'm not even... You know what? I'm going to use the same word that everybody seems to use when they describe this game. It's so goddamn stylish.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Everything.
Game is definitely gorgeous.
And that is what interests me the most when I first started looking up this game. The damn style, the opening scene to this, not scene, but the title screen, the opening that they give you, is so goddamn good. It's like video sex. Like, I love it.
What?
I can look at it all day and be happy. The art direction, I'm glad they stayed with it. It's phenomenal. As far as the day-to-day life, as you were saying about the confidants, what they did there is they gave you a reason. Because in 4, there was really no main reason to talk to anybody in that goddamn game. I mean, subtle, like the fox. The fox was a good reason to talk to somebody. But everybody else, I mean, unless you wanted to speed up your processes on personas.
I don't know. You kind of had to talk to Nanako. And Dojima to a degree.
Yes. Okay, if you wanted those chunks of stories, which I do recommend doing if you did not play 4.
Yeah.
And you wanted the full damn story and why people act the way they act. Okay. Rewind. Let me correct myself.
Oh, please. Because I'm like, that's kind of important.
Story-wise, if you was interested in said character, or story-wise, depending on what the character was, there was a reason to talk to certain social links. But you do have to admit, there were some that you could have went that whole game and not talked to.
Absolutely. You could do that in 3. I remember in 3, I didn't realize that certain characters were even possible to talk to until I was on my last month, and I was like,
well, shit.
Wait, I missed like 2 people that I never talked to. And then in 4, it was like some of them, like, for instance, like the kid with the mother. I was like, I don't want to do this damn social link. And guess what? I didn't do it. I just really didn't want to do it.
And that's the thing with 5. With 5, maybe aside from 1, but that's just me. But everybody else, I want to talk to. I want to know why they're here, what they're doing, what's their story. And then on top of that, the game gives me even more push because by talking to said person, I get benefits towards my battle dungeon crawling.
Yep, so they actually made it. So even if you may not want to go ahead and talk to certain people, they all have benefits. Not game-breaking benefits where it's like, well, I absolutely have to talk to this person, otherwise I can't progress. No, it's more so, talking to this person made this game so much easier. Talking to this person made it so I can get through this part of this game so much faster, or be able to stay in a dungeon so much longer. It basically adds to the longevity of the game.
So we talked about social links. Well, we talked about fuck.
It's okay.
So we talked about negotiations, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so there is an arcana, and this isn't spoilers. The only way this is a spoiler is if you wanted to go in this game without knowing any goddamn thing. And if you were doing that, then you probably wouldn't have listened to this podcast in the first place. But there is a confidant, the Sun Arcana. He is a mayor. Well, he's running for mayor. If you talk to him and progress through his social link, he makes it easier for you to negotiate with personas.
That's actually really good.
And you can get more money or better items.
Okay.
So I thought, I'm like, well, at first I didn't want to talk to him. Now I'm like, well, shit, maybe I should.
Maybe you should. I mean, of course, maybe you should, maybe you shouldn't. That's always up to you. Maybe you want that perk, but hey, that's up to however you want to play the game.
Exactly.
Maybe you want to make it hard and don't talk to anybody.
Don't talk
Go
to
ahead,
anybody. You know what I'm saying? Don't even talk. Well, yeah, don't even talk to your teammates.
Yeah.
No baton pass for you. But as far as like walking around outside of dungeons, like I said, they did a great job of replicating Tokyo. It's amazing. Like if you want to pull up a picture of Shibuya train station and then went in the Shibuya train station in the game, you'd be like, well, goddamn, that is the exact same. As far as like, they give you like so many things to up your stats that you'd be like, well, that was very there's a plant you're gonna have in your room. By giving this plant certain nutrients, you get 3 kindness. You can do it, I think, like every week. It's like, well, shit. You can read on it. You can read on the train station, on the subway. You can read there. It's just so much. It's overloading. Like I can talk about it for hours, to be honest with you. Crash or Chef C Black, did you have any other questions, like as far as asking me about the game, since I spent more time with it?
I guess like I'm looking forward to our first Let's Play.
Okay. Are you doing our first Let's Play? I mean, I'm just saying, it seems like, and if you guys didn't really understand, Chef C Black is officially part of Save Point. So,
well, I would rather watch y'all's Let's Play of Persona, because it seemed like I need to talk to certain people, and I personally wouldn't talk to nobody.
You assume that. You really definitely assume that.
Or either I would talk to some... I feel like it would be just my luck. I would need to talk to somebody because they would be important, and I would miss out on them.
Nope.
And then
it wouldn't work like that. Because you can, like we said, you can talk to everybody or you can talk to nobody. It's up to you how you want to set that path. And nothing's going to stop you from ending the game or beating the game. But, you know...
But yeah, like I said, I'm looking forward to one of you guys' Let's Play, and then from there, I can probably make my decision from there.
Well, I'm definitely doing one. Real talk. I have to, because I'm planning on going into it as myself, as the protagonist, and I think that would be hilarious for you all to see how I go through this scenario. As Yume, sort of.
Oh, okay. I mean, if you're putting it in the universe, man, hey, produce that content. Let everybody see how this game works.
As far as, is there anything else you like wanted to know that is in the game or looking forward to being in the game?
Not necessarily for the game. I just want to point this one out because I'm hoping it happens. Okay. I'm actually hoping that they bring out another Persona arena featuring the characters from this new game.
Already in the talks.
It's in the talks. Well, let's see how long it takes for it to come out, because I'm sorry, I absolutely love the arena series. As a fighting game enthusiast, I'm after playing the combat, I'm waiting to see when or how they're going to implement every character into the game into a new fighting game. So, but that's once again a spin-off from the actual point of Persona.
Yeah.
But I absolutely enjoy it.
Me definitely. I know it's going to happen. Like I'm speaking in existence. It is happening. And the only thing I hope that they do is follow the Elizabeth story.
I would like that too, actually.
I would love to see
to continue going through that. You already know. I've been waiting for that since the first game. But, you know, we'll see if they actually get back into that at some point. Even if they bring them back as some sort of villainy type of character, I would still accept it. I don't know.
That's what's up. Okay. Another thing I wanted to say was I don't hate P5's mascot.
I didn't hate the mascot in the first place.
I liked Teddy, but I couldn't stand Teddy. Teddy was
fair enough.
Teddy was fucking annoying.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
The cat in this one is actually quite comical and does not get on my nerves. I actually love the relationship between the cat and another party member, and I can't wait to actually understand it in English because, as you know, what others don't, I played the Japanese version.
Of course.
So besides the script that I had sitting next to me, I have no fucking clue what was going on besides what I could understand. Mm-hmm. So seeing that in English is just going to be even more phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I mean, as far as this goes, I can't wait for Tuesday. I'm literally trying to find a way to be at home as much as possible during the first couple weeks of this game coming out. I mean, I'm just saying, I really, really can't wait for this game.
This will probably be one of the first games in a long time that Crash may finish.
Shade.
I'm not.
Shade.
I'm gonna let that go. I'm gonna let it go. Even though I did finish a game not too long ago. I hate this running joke that you say about games that I don't finish, because I do. It's just I don't finish them within the first week like you, because
But that list is kind of long though.
I'm sorry. Maybe if you played games, I'd actually accept yours.
I actually still have Horizon. I haven't beat, along with a couple of other games I have not beat yet.
True, so. I'm throwing shade, but I still haven't beaten Horizon. I probably could have beat that within the past 3 days ago. So, but my list still isn't as long as yours.
Oh well, I'll buy more games than you, so
This man just said I got more money than you.
I'm just saying, maybe if you played 999, I'd probably listen to some of the stuff.
Here we go with 99. Here we go. Here it is, everybody. 99 fucking 9.
Well, maybe if you played it, we wouldn't even be talking about it. But yeah, other than that, that's all I got.
Yeah, like I said, I'm super stoked for. What was I about to say? Final Fantasy 15.
Ooh, that's a long thing to
say. Anyway, I'm super stoked for Persona 5. Like I said, it's so amazing. I can't wait to get to it. For those who are still interested and still trying to get it, I just read today that there's a deal going on. They still have Take Your Heart Collector's Editions at GameStop, $90. If you still want to grab one, here's your chance. They're sold out everywhere else.
Yep. And I'll be getting mine Tuesday.
So will I. So, yeah, any closing thoughts?
Nope. I'm good, man. I'm glad to join the team and everything.
That's it?
Yep.
Okay. That's it. Well, all right. This is Crash, Yume, and Chef C. Black. Oh, he has to say his own name. He didn't let me do it. But I guess we're signing off to the next one. Hopefully the next time you get a podcast from us, it'll be our legit review of Persona 5. Actually, hopefully we'll have more in between, but I'm definitely hoping for a review for it. We'd actually have some gameplay, but with the Japanese copy, they do not allow you to record it. I'll find a way around it, but I don't think it really matters at this point since the game is coming out on Tuesday.
I also would like for us to just go ahead. We can have a discussion about our theories about how what we think the storyline is going to be for Injustice 2 and what our thoughts are about
Injustice
the trailers
2, man.
far.
Well, maybe we'll do that in another podcast. We don't want to go too far into that on this one.
So. Oh, no, I'm saying we can do one.
Okay, well, I'm down for it.
But yeah, definitely. So yeah, we're signing out. We will catch you in the next podcast of Save Point. Chie is best girl.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right. We're saying that right here. If you have a problem, Chie is best girl.
Well,
Wombo Gombo.
This has been Save Point, and we'll talk to you guys again.